All right, so today we are going to be watching the 2003 NBA draft. And I actually watched this last night, and I thought it would be pretty cool to make a video on it. You may be laughing at me saying, why are you watching a draft from 17 years ago? You're such a loser. But I say, what a fan I am. Now, this was one of the more special drafts in the history of the NBA because it was so chock full of talent. It had LeBron, Carmelo, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kirk Heinrich. I mean, there's a bit of a drop-off, but it's extremely top-heavy, and it's kind of cool to see. Think about all the ways that the landscape of the league could have been different. So what if the Heat traded their pick like they almost did? What if the Pistons never took Darko Milicic? What if they took Carmelo instead? What if they didn't draft for size? It's very 2003, which I want to warn you. But it's funny, and it's kind of cool to be a fly on the wall, and we know what all of the future of these players is. So it's cool to know what their fates are and think about the careers that develop from them. So yeah, so let's watch.
For one person entering a league. Hi everyone, Mike Tirico, along with my buddies Tom Tolbert, Greg Anthony, and Jay Billis. We are joined throughout the night on our draft coverage by a host of people, including Dick Vitale and Jim Gray in Florida and Cleveland. Jimmy with the first pick. Also, we're joined by Michelle Tafoya and Stu Scott here in the draft headquarters, and David Aldridge and Andy Katz are
went on
all
to be a
over the news.
broadcaster
Couple of
for
points I
Sunday
want to
Night
keep you
Football. Left
in mind.
ESPN.
All night. Down here in this corner going to be the clock. Who's on the clock? You'll find out here.
And also, I want to point out, look at how fast this ticker's going. Oh my God. How did anybody even stay focused on that?
The draft, who's been picked, what picks are coming up.
We're blessed now that 17 years of progress, we now have a slow ticker at the bottom.
Jay come up in the highlighted box. That's Jay Billis' list of best available players. Jay has scouted
all these people in the nursing home say, oh man, the good old days.
The NBA has. The headlines of draft 2003.
People who say that don't know anything about history. Look at how much everything's improved.
The first three picks are
So
going to
lucky
be
to be
players
living
age
in
18 or 19. We've never had the top three under 20 in the history of the NBA draft. The continuing international flavor should be of record proportions this year. 14 is
so this is when the league started catching up on drafting international players. The year before Yao Ming went first overall. 3 years ago, Dirk got drafted, and he's coming onto the scene as one of the best players in the league.
Will you develop him down the line? A developing story
And
on
maybe that's why the
ESPN.com
Pistons
in the last
decided to
couple of
take
hours
Darko
regarding
Milicic, a guy
Michael Jordan. Ironically,
who
the night
beasted
LeBron
up on a
James
bunch of
comes into the
Serbian
league,
players
the year
in
Michael Jordan
the
came out of the
Euro
league.
League.
Michael is making some news on draft night as the conversations towards Michael's ownership of the Milwaukee Bucks seem to have heated
Also,
up
that's
a little
another
bit.
cool
Let's bring
thing.
in David
Michael
Aldridge.
Jordan
David,
almost
is it any closer,
owned
or just the rumors starting to
the
pile on top of
Milwaukee
each other
Bucks.
here on draft night?
Think about how different everything would have been if he didn't buy the Hornets. Maybe the Hornets are good.
I can tell you, Herb
If
Cole,
he buys the
within last
Bucks,
2 hours,
are they
has
still
let
in
people
Milwaukee?
know, let senior officials around the league know
Is
that there's
Giannis
no deal as of
drafted
yet.
by
Does that mean
Milwaukee?
it's gonna-
If
it
Michael
couldn't
Jordan's
change
at
in
the
next
head, does he really want to take an
24
international
hours or
player
the
for
next
some
week or
reason
so?
he
Of course
still
it could
owns
change,
them?
but the Bucks, who I talked to an hour ago,
And it
in
was
their
close.
war room,
I mean,
say it's
he almost
full speed
drafted
ahead.
for them. He
They're
was so
gonna make
close
the
into
pick.
owning
They're going to
them.
decide who they want to take. They do not have to run anything past
David
Michael
Aldridge
Jordan or any
now
of Michael Jordan's
works at
people.
TNT.
They're ready to go.
This
So in all
guy.
likelihood, Ernie Grunfeld in Milwaukee will be making this pick. David, the top three have been set for a long time. Doesn't mean it won't be an exciting
And
moment
coming
for
in,
the
everybody
champion.
basically
But
knew who
hotspot
the
in
top
draft
three
is
was.
Toronto
So
at
the
4.
intrigue
Are
really
they getting any
started
calls, or are they
when
gonna
the
keep the pick?
Raptors were on the clock at the
Mike,
fourth
we've
pick,
gotten
and
some
they were
calls, but,
who they
I
were
talked
going to
to
draft.
Toronto about 20 minutes ago. Nothing that really blew their
Ultimately,
doors off.
it turned
So
out to
right
be
now,
Chris
they're
Bosh,
committed
as
to keeping the fourth
any
pick
avid
and
NBA
making
fan
a
knows.
decision on one
But
of
what
the
if they
young
didn't
big
take
men
Chris
or
Bosh?
perhaps
What if they
TJ
took
Ford?
Dwayne Wade?
Well, Jay Billis, let's talk
Does
about the
Wade
big
recruit
men.
Bosh
We
and
have
LeBron to
Freeman,
Toronto? I
Bosh.
doubt
A
it.
couple of names have been thrown out there. Explain
Does
to us why they
Wade
are
stay
worthy
loyal
up
to
in the
his
fourth spot.
team like he had his whole career with Miami pretty much? And does that loyalty translate to Toronto? I don't know. Look at Jay Billis. Look at all the hair on him. Look at how young Chris Bosh looks, man.
The big three to be great. A very high ceiling. He is skilled, can step away from the basket.
I think the top 5 players in this draft would have been the number 1 pick in the 2004 draft.
Rebounds at a very high rate. The only question is he tough enough and can
Such
he
a
put on
talented
weight
draft.
to play inside.
And
Chris
there is the
Kaman out of
world's
Central
tallest
Michigan.
leprechaun, Chris
Offensively
Kaman.
very advanced. Can use either
I'm gonna
hand
see if I can
around
pull
the
up a
basket
picture of him,
and
see
can
if you
really
guys
score
agree with me.
inside. Average over 20 points per game. Can catch, can run. The question is he tough enough to be able to put on weight, and can he rebound at a high rate And will he have the pride to really step forward and play defense on the NBA level? I think that he can.
Greg Anthony, there's pressure for a lot of these teams. Do you go up and get a guy who may make an impact on your team right now, especially in some of the conferences where there's wiggle room to get into the playoff picture just like that?
Well, definitely. If you think about that fourth pick and you're talking about the Toronto
Greg
Raptors, the
Anthony
fact
now
that they
works
can
at
go out and maybe
MBTV,
bring in
and
a Chris
his
Bosh or a
son,
Chris Kaman.
who
This is a team, although they didn't make the
is
playoffs
at
last
this point
year,
1 year
very
old,
close. A healthy
is
Vince
going to be a
Carter,
lottery pick in
new
this year's
coach, a new
2020 draft.
amount of enthusiasm there. You bring in a guy who can score in the paint. That makes you a much more viable product in the Eastern Conference.
Only he knew.
And Tom, if you were Toronto, would you add Chris Kaman as a piece at number 4?
Well, that's the great thing about the Eastern Conference. Everybody's close to the playoffs.
I have no idea who this guy in the black is.
Look, their best players are their point
He
guard.
makes a lot of
Williams,
outlandish
off-guard
remarks,
Morris
so
Peterson,
I
and
wonder
Vince
if that's
Carter.
why
You need to get bigger up front.
ultimately he
Antonio
didn't
Davis
stick
has been
around with
playing out of
ESPN.
position at the center. If they get Kaman, look, the Eastern Conference doesn't have powerhouse centers, so you're one leg ahead of everybody else.
If only they knew what's to come. Shaq's coming to Miami. Dwight's going to be on Orlando in 3 years.
The best players in college basketball during the
He's
year without
gonna
our
get some
colleague
good centers.
Dick Vitale,
You
who's
just
joining us
wait,
from his
go
home down in
T-guy.
Florida. Dick, tell me the 2 guys, if you were in the draft room, that you would stand up, pound the table, and be passionate about joining your team.
I'll tell you one thing, Mike. You know I try to get passionate about things I love. Bottom line is this could be a draft of...
So Dick Vitale is a college guy, and they really pushed the theme of colleges in this draft. They, as you notice, they haven't even mentioned LeBron James yet, who's like as coveted as the most perennial prospect since I don't even know, but they're really pushing the theme of college. And Dick Vitale talks a lot, and he's very high on Carmelo, who just came off a NBA championship or NCAA championship with Syracuse.
Mystique, that'll be the theme, the unknown. We don't know about a lot of these players, but there's 2 that I do know a lot about. One is Carmelo Anthony. I think Carmelo had experience of playing 36 minutes a night, pressure situations.
Did you guys know Carmelo's actually half Puerto Rican? I learned that last night. His mom's completely African American, and his father is Puerto Rican. His father's name's actually Carmelo, so Carmelo's Carmelo Jr. technically, but he actually took his mother's last name.
Carmelo Anthony. And the other kid, I don't want to hear about size.
Champion
We're not
Carmelo.
talking
Syracuse
the Olympics.
University
We're not
champion.
talking 100 meters. We're not talking bodybuilding. We're talking basketball. TJ Ford, in today's game, you need an orchestra leader. You need a
He probably
creator
should have
and
said
an
Dwayne
innovator.
Wade here.
He all
TJ
Thomas
Ford didn't
Edison.
turn out
I
to be
know
much.
one thing.
A lot of people are really high on TJ Ford coming in this draft. But the one thing Dick Vitale did nail right on the head, I mean, obviously he's going to because he's a college guy, is he's saying that the Pistons should take Carmelo instead of Darko. But obviously, Carmelo just won an NCAA championship, and Dick Vitale is the NCAA guy, so it makes sense.
Still a likelihood that there will be a team not based in the continental U.S. or North
I'm
America.
assuming this
That's for down the
draft
road.
was
The immediate concern for
literally
TJ
taped
Ford
on a
is,
VHS
am I
set
gonna
and
go
then
4, 5, 6? Am I going to slide because of the height question? Let's ask him. He's standing by with our Stuart Scott. Stu?
transported into
and
a
Wooden Award winner, the only freshman to ever
into
lead
an
the nation in
MP4 file.
assists, and everybody's questioning you. TJ, what goes through your mind when you hear too short, can't shoot?
Well, I just know I always believe in myself, and I don't let anyone just tell me I can't do something. So people say I can't shoot, but I
Ford
just like
was
to
a
have fun and
consensus
enjoy the
All-American,
game, and
though.
eventually, you know, things will work out the best for me.
It does make
What do
sense
you
that
feel
people
like you
are so
have to
high,
prove?
but like they say,
just
they don't really have the
to prove that I
stature
can get better every
or
year.
an NBA body.
And
Maybe
long
that's
as
why
I
it didn't
just
turn
improve my
out.
game every time I step on the court and just
But
get my
man,
best.
we are
And I don't
7
think
minutes
you guys
in.
can
They've
anything
yet to talk
All right,
about
everybody
LeBron,
calls
so that's
him
what I'm
TJ.
talking
Let's
about.
call
Like
him
they're really
Terrence
pushing this
Gerard.
idea of
He's
college
given name. Michelle Tafoya now
onto
standing
the
by
viewers.
with another first rounder. Kirk Heinrich.
It's
Michelle?
funny, Kirk Heinrich's really awkward.
TJ Ford
And he really needs to hide his widow's peak.
Look
at that right there.
Workouts and you've had 9 of them.
He just brushed it, like he literally like put, like his hair is similar to mine. He literally just went like this and like looks like he put like, gel on his hair like that and said, "All right, we're good."
You and Nick Collison here together. People have a hard
I think it's
time
really
separating you two
interesting.
because of the Kansas tie.
The
You told me a minute ago you're pretty nervous. How do you feel about
the confidence that
what
these
you're gonna
players
see
have
here
and
tonight,
how
not
it
only for yourself,
equates to how their
but for him?
NBA career
really happy
translated
for him.
into?
I played with him
Kirk
for a long
Heinrich had a
time.
pretty
That's
good
my
career,
guy. And I just hope for the best
but
for him.
it doesn't look like he's
parents
ready
make
to
this trip, they may just
take
about
the
every other road
spotlight,
trip.
take the
Yeah,
moment
they're here and they're
in
real
this
proud of me,
interview.
I'm glad they made it.
They should be. Good luck to you. We'll see you tonight.
You'll
What
see
happens
later
with
they
Kirk
put the
Heinrich
camera on him and he
Dwayne
has no
Wade
clue
is
what to
Stuart
do.
Scott, too.
June 26, 2003 draft day. How did February
But LeBron,
2nd,
his confidence is like off the chain. Like he's ready to take the moment.
This day?
It made me more mature. My son was born on that day.
This is a big storyline that they're pushing with Dwayne Wade to get the fans interested. They're talking about how he had a son. They bring it up like 4 times. And now how he has to take care of it and how it matured him.
It's going to calm your nerves a little bit.
None.
You didn't need
And
it?
now his son is
I'm
a
cool.
3-star recruit.
Yeah, I'm trying to calm hers. I'm cool. I'm
on April
I'm just happy
15,
to be here, and I'm
2020.
ready to, to get up there and shake
So we're interested
hand
to look
and move
back
on.
and see how
Dwayne Wade, he
everything
was
just panned
academically
out.
ineligible as a freshman. He worked his way to a 3.0
If only he knew what's to
GPA,
come, and
the highest in
or
Marquette's
he'll be
starting
at the
five.
peak of
And
his
led Marquette to a Final Four
the
appearance. We'll
NBA
take it
landscape in
Cleveland.
10 years.
Gets to know a little bit better guys by the name of Darko, Carmelo, and LeBron as we get set to hear from the guys you've heard from and the other big names.
First mention of
Welcome
LeBron,
a
9
new
minutes in.
generation to the NBA on draft night 2003.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Carmelo Anthony. I'm Dwayne Wade. I'm Chris Bosh.
America, you're watching
The NBA Draft
on ESPN. On ESPN.
Look how playful LeBron is.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of the 2003 NBA Draft is brought to you by Verizon Wireless.
Interesting how they
Sign
put the
up to
2
get
white guys
NBA draft
together. They're
alerts
both
sent
looking
right to
at
your
blue.
mobile phone. Sprite, obey your
They did
thirst.
both go to Kansas, though. I don't know if that was Kirk Heinrich with Nick Collison, or if that was Darko. If it was Nick Collison, why isn't he wearing Kansas memorabilia? There's LeBron with a swag white suit. What a legend. That's such a magical story that the best player, in my generation at least, went to the same city, NBA city, that he grew up closest to. I just think that's so magical. It would have been such a worse storyline if the Grizzlies ended up winning. The Grizzlies actually had the Pistons pick, and it was number 1 protected. So if the Pistons pick turned out to be number 1, it was actually the Grizzlies pick. So if the Grizzlies pick turned out to be number 1,
Mike, there's quite a euphoric
it would
feeling
have been
going on here
LeBron
tonight
to
in
Memphis.
Cleveland. The
Now that would
stadium
have
out
been
here,
weird.
Gund Arena is full. We're joined by Gordon Gund, as you say.
This guy looks like a maniac. He looks so creepy. He's actually still alive. He's 80 years old today, and he's blind.
Lost his eyesight 33 years ago.
But they knew look at that. They knew they were taking LeBron. Like, they literally had the jersey in the background. They wouldn't let that fly today.
Well, first of all, he's big and strong and very athletic.
And I'm assuming it says that he sold the team, obviously. Dan Gilbert owns the team, and
he also
it's
looks like
infamous that he
somebody
made LeBron sort of want to
really got
leave
it
Cleveland,
together.
and their relationship
He's
sort of
got
strained.
real humility and
I wonder if
character,
Gund
so all of us.
basically said, all right, well, my franchise is never going to be more valuable. We have a perennial generational talent on the team.
At all feel
I should
in
sell
your
now.
senses like Michael?
Well, he does. I haven't had the chance to be close with up on him playing.
I wonder what this guy
basketball at
pictures
that kind of
LeBron
level,
as.
But he has the potential to, in my mind.
Because he's blind, I wonder what he thinks he looks
for
like.
this town, and what does this mean for your business? How many season tickets have you sold?
Well, we've had a significant increase in the number of season tickets we've sold. We still have
Cleveland,
some
man, they've
tickets,
just
so
had a
anybody
roller
who
coaster of the last
is very
17
interested,
years.
Please be sure and
Been at
hurry
the peak,
and let us know.
been
But
at the
for
bottom
us,
once
it's been
LeBron left,
terrific 'cause,
returned to the peak when
fans
he
have had,
came
as
back,
you well know,
and
a
when he
bad time of
left,
it lately, as has
bottom
the
feeders
franchise.
again.
And the fans really deserve this, and I'm excited. Most
Well,
of all,
hopefully
I'm excited
that's
for them.
sustained some
If there's
basketball
one
in
player
Cleveland
in
and
the
made,
league that a team
made
would
a
have
generation of
called
passionate
and said you
fans.
can have,
Hopefully
would
it's
you
not
have
just a
traded
bunch of
this pick?
bandwagoners who
There
are like
is
the
no
Cavs when
player,
LeBron's
Jim,
on them, and then
for
they
whom we
leave,
would have
like the
traded this pick.
Lakers or the Heat.
There isn't a whole team. We're very
You know how fast
excited
that
to have
ticker
this
is.
player, and we believe
How is
he's
anybody
going to
supposed
give
to
this
comprehend
marketplace a
what
great
it's saying,
future of
especially
exciting
when the picks
basketball.
start
That's
coming
saying
in?
an awful lot, Gordon.
It is, but that's how I feel. You know, otherwise, if I didn't, I'd probably be run out of town.
Yeah, would you
All right, Gordon.
trade,
Go on sale, Mike Tirico.
let's say,
The number
for an
23 jersey,
entire
the new
team, would
crimson
you, of 12
colors
players,
of the
would you trade
Cavaliers,
the
they go
number
on
1 pick
sale in about
for?
15, 20 minutes. They are lined up
That's sort of
around the
comparable
block.
to would you
Probably
trade
won't have enough
Zion's
back
number
here.
1 pick if you're the Pelicans for anybody in the league? Probably not.
Merchandise in the league, I would guess to the upper half, maybe the upper third. It's
If you're
not
the
just the new
Pelicans, you get a
jersey,
call
it's
from
the guy
the
who's going to be wearing
Lakers. Hey, we'll
that
give you
number
Davis back
23.
and LeBron. Do you
Does
say
in
yes for
tribute
Zion?
to Michael
Probably
Jordan.
not.
Dick Vitale, you got to see some of
That would never
LeBron James'
happen.
high school games. He seems to have, Dick, in addition to all the basketball, that special it that makes stars superstars.
I tell you, Mike, I was so in awe watching him.
It's so crazy that they just absolutely nailed it on the head how good LeBron was going to be.
He was much better
and
than
like
I even expected.
LeBron
I mean,
somehow outperformed what his expectations were, which is absolutely crazy to me.
Of the five-star camp, he told me he had a 15-year-old that dominated both his leagues, the NBA and the college division, and that's never been done before. Then he went to the big stage at Adidas and marched on and became incredible in Nike camp as well. Bottom line is, this kid has lived up to all the expectations. He has that special instinct, feel for the game. I'm going on my silver anniversary at ESPN. 25 years. He's the best high school player I have ever seen
later, so that
in
means
my
he's been there 42 years now.
And he's got that charisma.
My grandma hates when he
announces. And the cash register is going to go ding-a-ling-ding because he's got that smile, Mr. Tirico, just like you.
He's got his thing
It's the ding-a-ling-ding to go with the bling and everything else that will make Cavs games an event now in Cleveland. Jay Billis, you did some of those games with Dick. Basketball-wise, does LeBron have
this guy in the black
that everybody's building him up to have?
Yeah, he's just as skilled as Kobe Bryant or Kevin Garnett at the same age, but he is far more physically imposing.
Jay Bill's such a good commentator for being
reasonable basketball person
good basketball player. That's why he's a
commentator.
commentator, because he played
LeBron
it
James in this draft. It's an absolute no-brainer. He's got what it takes to be a great NBA player, and I think he
not
will
just great,
Greg,
Jay.
If you were advising LeBron, what would you tell him the toughest thing ahead for him is?
Well,
second or third best ever, maybe even first.
The expectation level is so high for LeBron right now. Everyone has put him up there in the stratosphere. He just has to be patient and allow the game to come to him.
I think the only way he fails is if he fails to meet our expectations. I would just say this to the fans and the media: let's not create LeBron's legacy. Let him create one for himself.
Maybe because the fans created his legacy. Maybe that's why his legacy happened.
The official step tonight,
visualization.
to watch a guy who's come from tough upbringing to great success. It's a pretty special night in his life, and we'll be here to share it when that first pick comes in a little bit. Darko Milicic should be the next pick from the Detroit Pistons. We will talk about Darko and the international impact that has become the NBA draft as we continue from New York on draft night 2003.
I am ready.
Bro, LeBron's father left his mother when he was 3 weeks old, and he turned into LeBron. Think about how pissed off that father is that the opportunity missed, but that's what he gets.
Of the Detroit Pistons in all likelihood.
Think about all the people, all the families in like Akron and across the country whose parents who are in the same situation and don't make it, and don't amount to anything like LeBron did. That gives me so much respect for LeBron.
Named Darko, who only played about 20 minutes per game, didn't play
like
more
a lot
than
of people in
30
that
games
situation
overseas.
just throw their lives away because nothing's expected out of them.
Mike, he's a freak, and I mean that in the most positive way. He's 7
and
foot
LeBron
tall,
literally
he's a
became
left-hander,
like
and he's got
the
a
father of the
7'5"
NBA,
wingspan. He is
the leader of men.
Absolutely an incredible athlete when he gets out on the floor with his combination of size, skill, and athleticism. He gets off his feet, he can shoot the ball from the perimeter, and he's very clever with his inside moves. He's only 18 years old, and he's only been 18 for a few days. This guy has got a tremendous amount of potential, and he's got
Darko was really young. He
great.
just turned 18
like a
LeBron
week
James,
before the draft. Darko Milicic would be the #1 pick in most every draft in the last 10 years.
He'll likely go to Greg. Where will we see the big
Pistons took him because Pistons were good. Like that pick wasn't theirs. They weren't getting that pick because they were bad. They traded that. They got that pick from Memphis.
That are a little bit more capable in terms of their overall
so they were drafting to fill a need. They needed a center, so they thought that center could get them over the top. They did get over the top, but it wasn't because of Darko. They won the NBA championship in 2004.
I don't know how to pronounce their names. I don't know what kind of team
But imagine if they drafted Carmelo. Do they win a championship? Is Carmelo like, this team's mine? I'm going to ruin all the team chemistry and chuck a bunch of shots.
There's going to be more of these guys.
So
I'm just wondering if you're a GM right now, how you get through this. I mean, these guys are young. They're playing in different countries. I'm waiting for the day where we start like scouting embryos.
It's a weird take.
Oh, he had a great ultrasound. We're going to take him in the first round. He could be a GM right now. You just got to be going nuts.
You have to have strong ownership that allows
this
you
guy's
to have
got
a
some
presence
takes.
Internationally to be able
Talking
to do
about
these things.
embryos on national television, mocking the process of scouting in Europe and how young people should be scouting players.
Getting closer to the first pick is draft night 2003. Answers questions for some anxious young men.
Maybe that's why he's not on ESPN.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Chris Bosh. I'm Dwayne Wade.
I'm Darko Milicic, and you're watching NBA Draft.
Oh, all right, so I can kind of... What's the line again?
Look at how much confidence LeBron
NBA
has.
Draft on ESPN.
telling you, there's some sort of parallel to confidence and how your career pans out.
GMC draft moment. If we're talking about the top 3 being taken
People
in
with
this
confidence
draft,
aren't afraid of the moment.
recent best 1, 2, 3s. Hakeem Olajuwon taken with the #1 pick in '84, a career that had almost spanned 2 decades, and of course the infamous #2 pick of Sam Bowie, who's
I was thinking last night when I was watching it who the best #3 picks are ever. Obviously, since Michael Jordan was the best #3 pick. This draft had Carmelo.
the best #3 pick in the
The
history
2019 one
NBA
was
draft.
R.J. Barrett. I'm trying to think of other notable ones. Jason Tatum was #3.
And 11 years ago, Shaquille O'Neal from
Derek
Orlando
Favors
was the
was
#1 pick.
#3.
Remember, he didn't lead the Magic to the finals. Alonzo Mourning, who still holds out hope of coming back to the NBA.
This just shows how long ago this was. Alonzo Mourning was still in the league at this point, and Christian Laettner was still in the league at this point. But Laettner was drafted in 92. 92's only 11 years ago at this point. So 2009 is basically what 2020 to 2009 is basically 2003 to what 1992 is. Curry was drafted in 2009. That just shows how long ago that was. Like Laettner has been in the league at this point as long as Curry's been in the league at 2020 point. And look how swag LeBron is, bro. Isn't that interesting? They didn't even put St. Mary's, they just put like a generic high school logo.
I am ready. I'm ready.
Ready to dominate.
Showing what I've been working
Man, the scouts did a good job on this one. They picked some. I don't know if it was that obvious, because these players are obviously so good and they're going to be so good.
They say, I got you.
Yeah, that isn't a cocky. I was wearing a Kansas.
I cannot be stopped. I cannot be stopped.
So I don't know if it's the scouts who did such a good job because the top 5 players in this draft are just so talented that it was obvious, or like they just hit a home run here. All right, Ford not looking the camera in the eye. Maybe that's why it didn't pan out. Nick Collison, not afraid of the moment, looking dead in the camera. Had a 14-year NBA career. Not afraid of the moment. Kirk Heinrich, very awkward. Has no idea what to do with the camera looking at him. Doesn't know how to smile. Doesn't know what to do with his eyes. Looks away for a brief moment. But Heinrich did have a good career, so I don't know. I don't know who that is. Dwayne Wade with his 1-year-old who is now going to graduate high school in 3 months. Crazy.
And for that, the commissioner of the NBA, David Stern,
R.I.P. David Stern.
to begin the proceedings.
And Stuart Scott, who was in this. All right, listen to this. This is funny. So they're not booing Stern here like they normally do. This is at MSG, by the way.
And welcome to the NBA draft.
These New York City fans are chanting, "Fire their GM, fire Latham."
In New York City, home of the Knicks, the WNBA.
So Knicks have just been in purgatory for 17 plus years. Like the same thing happens with Dolan now. They chant, "Fire Dolan." Listen to
our
that.
fans here in the United States watching on
Fire
ESPN.
Latham.
To our fans watching in 212 countries and logging on to NBA.com around
Look at how they're pushing NBA.com. So 2003.
To our fans gathered here tonight.
NBA.com is very like new at this point too. It's basically like what TikTok is today for the NBA.
Thank you for
like
coming.
they're trying to hop on the train, hop on that internet train.
The first pick in the 2003
I want to go to the draft.
NBA
I'm going to go
draft
next year since the quarantine and everything right now. I'm going to go in 2021. It's in Brooklyn. It's not too far from me. They are booing because they know that LeBron has been going to Cleveland since the lottery.
If you couldn't hear what the fans were chanting, they were chanting
so,
Layden, talking about Scott
they
Layden,
absolutely
the Knicks.
knocked this out of the park. Like he wasn't even doing that crazier stats. 25, 8, and 5. But he was on the spotlight of ESPN for like 3 straight years, so they knew that he was going to be good.
The number 9 overall pick by Phoenix last year, from a number standpoint, did it as well as anybody ever in the history of the league. Tough to make that early impact. Jay Billis,
those are some good players.
LeBron
I don't know if they're outlining the best players from high school, but every single one of those players became a star.
Well, I think, Mike, first you start with his body. LeBron James has an NBA body. He is prepared from a physical standpoint to make this jump to the NBA as prepared prepared as any high school player has ever been. 6'7" and a half.
What a man, an absolute man.
Like, plus, he is strong and an absolute
and he was a
man.
sick
He is an
receiver in
extraordinary
football.
passer, a Magic Johnson type passer that can really see the floor and deliver the ball. He is easy to play with. He will be a great teammate because he doesn't need to score in order to impact a basketball game. He's also got explosion ability. LeBron James can get to the basket. He can rise up and finish once he gets there with that great athleticism, and he's got the handle and the first step in order to get to the hole. What does he need to improve upon? His defensive concentration. He needs to involve
and that's
himself
still true
in more
today.
plays,
Like, he
not
takes
just
plays
hang
off.
back.
Defense is the one thing that he shows. Like, he can
job.
turn it on
He's
and
got
off.
to refine his shot.
And his shot
He is
too.
not
Like,
a
it's
good
still,
jump
it holds
shooter, but
true.
he
Very
shoots a
good, Jay
ball,
Billis.
and he shoots it with ease from
His
range.
free throws,
I
like,
think
were a
with work
struggle
on that jump
at the
shot,
beginning of his
LeBron
career.
James can be
His
a
shot,
good
he had
jump shooter.
to
He has got the complete
tweak
package.
all
the
throughout
most
his career,
prepared high
his
school
three-point
player
shot,
ever,
especially
at
during
least
his finals
since
runs with
Malone,
Miami.
to jump into this league and play right away.
How good will he be, guys?
I think he's going to be tremendous. He's definitely going to be a Hall of Famer. Unless he gets injured, he has too much upside not to be great.
Not just going to be a Hall of Famer there, buddy.
Hey, do we have to pick that one out? I cherry-picked. I know that. It was fun. You could dunk.
It's an amazing story of a young man who's gone from tough times to great success. And the crowning moment for LeBron James,
having fun.
something he's dreamed about his whole life, is about to
We
happen.
just want to
Go
go
up
with
to the
more
podium with
professional
Commissioner
people
Stern
who
for the first
are
pick.
actually about it, about the stats and what it takes. There's the David Stern moment.
With the first pick in the 2003 NBA Draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select LeBron James.
Man, LeBron James been in the spotlight for 20 straight years, and he just absolutely handled it like a boss. Ever since he was a sophomore in high school. Like, people have been coveting his autograph, his jersey.
Gloria sacrificed a lot.
And he's still, people are still freaking out about it. He's still one of the best players in the NBA, 17 years later. That's like a rookie today, still being a legend in 2037.
And here they are, just a short time later.
Like, look at people, I wonder if they kept those t-shirts and they're like, it's still relevant. Like, if you wear that today,
makes a great American story.
it's not a throwback or anything.
It's like, success.
He's still here.
The second player from high school selected first overall, Kwame Brown of the Washington Wizards, doing it a couple of years ago. High school games on national TV.
Hear the crowd chant overrated. They're talking about Darko already. Crowd got it right. Good job, crowd.
Oh, you know what's amazing to me is we are actually going to see LeBron James
but also
jerseys.
every single
We're going to see Cleveland Cavalier jerseys in Montana,
foreign player,
in LA, in New York, in Chicago. And his impact is not just going to be on the court. It's going to be felt all across the landscape of America.
You know, you got to love this guy, too, in terms of his poise and the way he's really handled himself through all this adversity. I mean, this is a great moment for him and his family, obviously, but also for the city of Cleveland.
It is for Cleveland as well, and here is LeBron James on the Sprite set with Michelle Tafoya.
Mike, thanks. LeBron, this was a moment years in the making. And even though you knew you were going to be the top pick in the draft, you said you weren't sure how you'd feel when David Stern actually called your name.
Mama
so I
James,
have
you
to
got
ask
taken care of.
what was the moment like?
It was great. You know, this is a long-time dream to finally accomplish this, and it finally shows
LeBron,
the
man, he
hard work
just
has
looks like a
finally paid
man.
off for me.
He's 18 here.
And a lot
Looks
lies
older than
ahead.
me.
You will most certainly be the most scrutinized rookie in the history of the NBA. What will make a successful season by your definition in the rookie year?
You know, seeing our team get better every day. I think that's going to be the biggest accomplishment for us.
He's
because
got all the
last year we were pretty
intangibles. He's
good,
a leader.
but I
He's
feel
a
like we
great
can get better
basketball
every day
player.
as a
He's
team.
got the athletic body.
That's my biggest goal this year.
There has been some talk that they might want to play you at the point guard. What do you think?
I think I'm going to be ready for it.
17 years later, running the point for the #1 team in the West.
You threw out to
At
Carmelo
6'8",
Anthony.
with the body of a power
Game
forward.
on. Let's vie for Rookie of the Year. Let's compete. Why will you win
There you
that
guys can tell,
contest?
like,
You know, I think, I'm not sure I'm
there's
going
young
to win the
Melo.
contest.
It's
I
so
just
funny
think
when
I'm
he
just gonna try to
put. So
get my
Melo,
teammates
when he
better.
got drafted, he
You
put
know,
his hat on
I'm not
backwards.
individual things. I'm
He's
all
like,
about
oh
the
shit,
team.
I better put it on forward. I
Well,
can't
the team wears
take
this
the hood out of
jersey
the
on the
player.
road,
Can't take the
LeBron.
player in the hood.
Here it is. Enjoy
I
it.
said that backwards.
All right, Cavs fans back at home.
Mike, back
Pops,
to you.
what up?
Ohio's own LeBron James becomes
And
the
he will
first player
deliver you
taken in
Cavs fans back at home with Chip, but it'll take 13 years, and it'll break your heart 7 years. But he will deliver for you guys in many ways.
Perspective on Detroit being in the 2 spot. It is rare in NBA history that a team picks this high after winning 50 games.
Imagine trading your number 1 pick and your future pick for Otis Thorpe, and it being 6 years away, that pick, and only having a number 1 pick protection on it.
They would not have gotten it this year if it was the
Come on, Vancouver.
And there was Jerry
They are Vancouver. They were an expansive franchise. They probably got the most smart front office.
Or nothing. He
They were desperate.
The Detroit Pistons have the pick.
Maybe the front office was desperate because they knew they were getting fired, so they just said, screw it, we'll trade that pick. We're not going to be here in 6 years anyway. But the Pistons, like I said, they were drafting based on need, and everybody knew they were taking Darko. The first 3 picks in this draft were set.
Right now, if they decide to pick him, and Milicic has tremendous upside.
And they were picking based on need. And that's why they're saying, will he make an immediate impact? They only made that pick yet, but they know that they're taking Darko.
I think he's got the chance to be great, but you're going to have to wait a little while on Darko Milicic because it's going to take him some time to mature. He's got to get stronger. He's sometimes easily pushed off the lane, and you're not always sure if he's going to be willing to play inside. I think he will in the future as well.
The pick is in, and that is the beauty of it for Darko.
Ben Wallace actually, Melo said if you got to take him by the Pistons, they would have won a bunch of rings. Ben Wallace actually said that if they took Carmelo, they wouldn't have won anything. So maybe it's good that they took Darko. They took a player who wouldn't mess with their team chemistry.
I'll tell you what,
they did win a ring
and he may not be strong, but you got Ben Wallace behind you. So you got that going for you. I mean, no one's going to kick sand in your face with Big Ben back there.
But that's why you never try to draft to fill a need, boys, because that player's going to hit his prime in 6 years, and your team's going to be completely different. So always take that player unless it's like a LeBron type, always take that player who has the most talent and potential. Let this be an example to you when you're drafting in your NBA GM leagues.
There are a very few
NBA 2K GM league.
Just a half dozen, where a team that's won 50 games has picked this high in the draft.
With the 2nd pick in the 2003 NBA draft, the Detroit Pistons select Darko Milicic from Serbia and Montenegro.
Serbia, not just Serbia, because it's just Serbia. Serbia and Montenegro. Look at, they're just kissing each other. It's so European. So rules of the NBA draft had to change. So very 2003. Serbia and Montenegro.
Darko Milicic to be selected. Used to be you had to turn 18 within 45
Look
days
at what
of the
those
draft.
hats are
Now you must turn 18 by the end of the calendar
like,
year that
that,
the draft
it's
is
like
in.
Fake leather.
Darko Milicic's
like
dad, 6'7" police officer. Mom is 6'3".
6'7" and 6'3". So if you're tall, try to find a tall one. Your player may be 7 feet tall.
Now they will watch Darko Milicic. What will they see about him in the Billis breakdown?
Darko Milicic, very highly skilled. He can shoot it, he can pass it, a very good rebounder and an excellent handler. He's fundamentally sound, and he's got terrific hands. Just 18 years old, and he's got all the elements that you want in a great player because he's a creative scorer on the offensive end. He can set his man up and make a move, and with that 7'5" wingspan, he can shoot over the top of people. He's got very good footwork. He still needs to get stronger and get the strength to hold position down low, but with his back to the basket, he can make credible post moves, and with those great hands, look how he sets his man up, uses a jab step. That's extraordinary for a guy 7 feet tall with such long arms.
I mean, he's beating up on
strength to hold position, I think, a key.
Players like 3 levels below NBA talent.
He winds up getting pushed all the way out to the corner. As he gets stronger and matures as a
never
basketball
shown
player, he will be able to hold that position, and he'll be much more likely to score with his back to the basket.
I would
Darko
stick
Milicic, a
to
chance to be
proven
great.
college
You can't say
players
that about
unless
that
you're
many big guys. This
just
guy
drafting
has got
based on
skills.
potential.
The highest drafted European in NBA
drafted on
history, Darko
ceiling
Milicic, taken by the Detroit Pistons, and he's
what you
standing by on
know.
the
Sort of like with this year with Rui Hachimura.
Right, Mike, and Darko
They knew what
deciding
they
to
were
do
getting out of
this
him, so
interview one of the
they don't want
first
to mess
times
around
he's
with
doing it
anybody
without
else.
an
They
interpreter, so we
really
welcome
take
that. Darko, what
Watch
do you
this
know
interview, it's
about
really
Detroit?
funny.
I've been in Detroit 2 times.
He barely knows English,
Nice for me,
but
nice
he's doing an interview.
I've never been downtown, but I like people in Detroit, in club.
He probably knows like 10% of English right here. And he's just like trying to piece together a response.
What are they going to learn first?
It's funny, the ESPN guy just, all right, scrap it. He doesn't know enough English. They get him out of there after like 2 questions.
I don't know, I can talk with it. He must saw me first. I think he's never saw me.
what is my best.
Look, he's nervous. He doesn't know how to respond. He's like, screw it, I just messed up. I didn't answer that good at all. I should have translated. His dad's so proud of him.
I just can be stronger.
He has no clue what to say. Look at him. He's like, I don't know.
Detroit is counting on
They're just like in interviewing. All right, end it, scrap it, get him out of there.
Mike, when he was just 10 years old, his mom sold the family car to buy a cow to support them through that war. I think Darko can probably buy her the whole farm now.
Imagine selling all of your possessions just for a cow.
His dad was off for the war. Quite a story coming true here tonight. Standing on the stage, by the way, was Pedro Savovich of the Denver Nuggets, who was going to help translate in case Darko needed it. He did not. Page's team, the Nuggets, are on the clock. But while we have a second, Jim Ray in Cleveland with their head coach, Paul Simons.
Mike,
now this is funny. This is a hilarious moment. I think that this is. So this is the coach of the Cavs.
Like this to talk about
ominously in the background is LeBron's jersey overbearing the coach. And as all of you guys know, LeBron is a notorious coach, career ender. So it's sort of an ominous and ironic scene because this guy's talking about how LeBron's like going to save the Cavs, save his career along the way. If only he knew.
Teammates. He's got quite an entourage for an 18-year-old.
It's funny because that
LeBron
jersey just in the background
being a member of your team.
What it's all about is what he does on the floor. That's what I'm mainly concerned with. We're going to have to try to protect him as much as possible from media scrutiny and that kind of thing. But if he does well on the court, everything else falls into place.
That picture looks like he's 16.
34 years. Have you ever seen anything quite like this surrounding LeBron and what's going on regarding his draft pick and him coming into this league?
Jim, I have not. I'm just happy to be.
Like even the coach knew that he was a generational talent.
Right,
like he's like
congratulations to you. We've got
that
another
they took
pick.
him.
Denver's pick is up. Let's go to Mike Tirico.
Okay, Jim, thank you. Like the
Look
Cleveland
how cool
Cavaliers, a team that Paul Simons takes over. The Denver Nuggets also won just 17 games this year. They end up 3 in the lottery. Most years it would be kind of a consolation prize, but probably not this year. Back up to the podium and Commissioner David Stern.
Old logo. This was a new logo for the Nuggets too. They used to be
in the
brown
2003
and
NBA draft, the Denver Nuggets select Carmelo Anthony from Syracuse University.
The crowd loves him because it's in New York City, Syracuse, and New York. Most people probably Syracuse fans. Champion, reigning champion. There it is. Sweet victory. Watch this though. He's about to put it on forward. No, I'm gonna put it on backwards. I'm gonna start on these guys. Wait.
Raised 4 children on a housekeeper's
all right, I'm gonna put it on backwards. Screw this. Oh wait, shoot. This is a big moment. I'm gonna be on national TV. I don't want to embarrass myself. I should act a little bit professional. But that's just the boy from Baltimore. Crowd loves him. He's going out to the Midwest though, out in Denver.
Carmelo's mom, Mary.
Mike, I'm here with Mary.
What do you guys think of his mom being named Mary? I mean,
what's running through your mind right now?
This is a moment. I cried a little bit last night when I was watching it.
Is this a dream for you?
Yes.
At what point did you know that your son was not just a special person, but a special basketball player?
All right, peace to it, Scott.
It's okay. It is okay. Tears of joy, I'm sure. We'll come back and talk to you later. Hopefully, Mike, let's go back
so
to you.
Like I said, his dad's Puerto Rican, but he's estranged.
It is so much part of the story. Let's bring in our friend, Mr. Vitale. Dick, take us through Carmelo Anthony.
But Mary, that's a weird name. Dick Vitale. Finally, I can talk about a college player.
Mike, it was so beautiful to see the tears of joy and happiness. Tremendous love there with his mom. The one thing that this youngster possesses is the unbelievable charisma that
called it early entry back then. They didn't call it one and done.
Great feeling. A guy that
because it was expected that you'd stay all 4 years back then. Not as much, but that was sort of the norm.
Denver averaged 84 points a game last year, Mike. This kid's going to provide scoring in day one. You know, you talk about Milicic and we talk about upside.
That's what you need in the NBA. You need a guy who creates his own shot.
A great upside and great potential.
Carmelo
Anthony is not about upside. He is a guy that is ready to contribute. He played 36 minutes a game under pressure.
I wonder how it would have turned out if it wasn't the first time like he would have been drafted by Detroit.
Consistently performed at the highest level on the NCAA level. You know, we talk about a lot of these players are going to learn on-the-job training.
How much different the league would have been if those lottery balls absolutely changed the landscape of the league for the next 17 years.
Syracuse and was absolutely super. I think a great choice, Mike. I really believe that Detroit may regret not making the call for Mr. Anthony.
A great offensive player in college. Denver was last in the league in points, field goal percentage, three-point percentage, free throw percentage. Carmelo Anthony on the Sprite set with Michelle Tafoya.
Mike, thanks very much, Carmelo. You've got the house behind you.
So what do you guys think about his mom being
was
married? I just think
speechless,
it's
overcome with emotion. Can you tell us what this moment means to you and your family?
This moment, it just means a lot to me right now. I knew when my mom first came in that she was real tense. I asked her, did she want some water, but she said no. Well, I knew that she was going to get really emotional early, though.
Indeed she did. You have gone on the record, Melo, as saying that you're the best player in this draft. What do you know about
bit of a stretch. Maybe if LeBron
maybe Cleveland and Detroit didn't.
But I'm an all-around player. I think I could pretty much do everything.
But 17 years later, man, Melo's still there. I mean, can't take that away from him.
I ain't gonna say I'm ready to play.
LeBron is literally the best player in the league, but that's still impressive that 17 years later, he's still in the league. I don't think anybody from the 2020 will probably call people. It's rare for players in 2020 to have to be in the league.
Basketball is a game of fun. If you ain't having fun, then ain't no need for you to be playing.
Jay Williams expected to miss next season following motorcycle accident, and that basically ruined his career. He was the number 2 pick in the 2002 draft. All right, this is where it gets interesting. Nobody knows who the Raptors are going to take.
Kiki, to take Carmelo Anthony at this pick was a no-brainer for a lot of guys. Other years you would have been not in as good position at number 3. Did you have any doubts about Carmelo before you worked him out a couple of weeks ago?
There was no real doubt. I think this draft is very unique because I think you had 3 players that in any other draft could have been a number 1 pick. So we're just overjoyed to have Carmelo. It was just, you know, tremendous to see his mom and the love in that family, and we hope we can show him the same type of love here in Denver.
Kiki, you're rebuilding a franchise there, have a lot of salary cap room. We'll discuss that later. Is Carmelo the type of player on and off the floor that you can build a successful franchise around?
Well, I've gone on record saying that character is very important to me, and Carmelo certainly has that in abundance. He's a tremendous young man, besides being a great basketball player, and I think he's going to be a great addition to the NBA community and our community here in Denver.
Kiki, thank you very much. We'll talk to you later on.
Thank you.
Kiki Vandeweghe, general manager of the Denver Nuggets. Toronto's in the 4th spot. This is where the known stops, the unknown begins. The hot spot of the draft. How will it all spin? Let's see what the Raptors are going to do. They have a new head coach, remember, in Kevin O'Neal, former Detroit assistant. Here's the commissioner.
With the 4th pick in the 2003 NBA draft, the Toronto Raptors select Chris Bosh from Georgia Tech University.
It was 7 years ago in the 4th spot that a Georgia Tech player was drafted. Stephon Marbury by Milwaukee. Here, Chris Bosh
is what if they took Dwayne Wade?
By the Toronto
how much
Raptors.
Different the league
LeBron and
the Heat take Bosh.
Spent 1 year in college.
Does Wade recruit Bosh to Toronto? I doubt it. Does LeBron go to the Heat with Wade? Does Wade leave his team? Wade probably doesn't leave his team. Wade's loyal.
Is he going to play out on the perimeter? Is he going to be more of a 3-man, or will he play inside? He's not the kind of guy.
So I'm going to assume that LeBron goes to New York because that's where he was going to go, but he chose Miami.
Exactly what this kid can do. He's 6'11 and a half, a left-handed
completely
shot
different
blocker.
today.
They can really change ends.
He probably stays in New York
extraordinarily well, and he's got terrific hands. He's very productive. He can fill up a stat sheet in a lot of different categories. But the question I have about him, will he gain the weight and will he make the commitment to playing inside? He's a shooting big man. He can step away from the basket and knock down shots as a trailer. Doesn't really put the ball on the floor, but he can really run. An outstanding athlete, great hands. I think he's got the most potential of any other player in the draft outside of the top 3. But with those rounded shoulders, I just question whether he can put on a lot of weight. It's a question in my mind as to whether he's got the toughness in order to play inside. That's a question he's going to have to answer.
Actually the best pick in the draft because Wade actually ended up producing LeBron too and Bosh. So like by taking Wade, you actually end up getting the number 4 and number 1.
With Chris Bosh, 4th pick to Toronto. You know, 1 season at Georgia Tech, and then your mom
on the Raptors
sat you
is a beast,
down and said, write down all the pros and cons of leaving school early for the
look
NBA.
Up if you want a good laugh. Look up his car seller commercial with him
I knew I had the chance to make it to the NBA at a high level, at a high pick actually. And you know, it just wasn't a reason, you know, to come back to college and risk the chance of getting hurt. I mean, Georgia Tech is a great place.
You know what makes me angry when all these selfish college fans yell at their own players for leaving early? Like, they do not understand that they have way more value to the NBA by being younger. Like, if they wait another year and develop, like, they're less valuable because they have way less potential now.
Thanks, Michelle. Guys, how does he fit with the Raptors?
They're more proven as to who they are. Unless you have an absolute stunner year and like you go off and you prove that you're a top 3 pick,
and really allow him to
that's
become
rare.
a much more productive basketball player
that makes,
in a hurry.
I don't like that when
I think he helps them
college
more
fans
immediately
are
on
out
the
their players for
defensive
leaving
end,
for the
blocking
draft.
shots,
They got to
gobbling up
realize that
rebounds.
those players are
Offensively,
leaving
just get the
they
ball to
have
Vince
to.
Carter
That's
and get out of the
what
way.
And keep Vince healthy
Yes.
in the
want to
line.
draft
Toronto,
him.
by the
That's
way,
what
was
makes
20th in block
make the
shots in
most
the
money,
NBA
take
this
care of
year.
their own
Miami's on the
families.
clock. They pick 5th. The draft continues from New York as maybe the Miami Heat
I looked it up. This is another interesting thing. The draft was in New York, and then in the 90s, the NBA basically treated it like the All-Star game, and they went from city to city with it. So it was in Vancouver, it was in Indianapolis, it was in Charlotte, and then they brought it back to New York from 2010 pretty much, and then they moved it to, probably because it just got too expensive, or they didn't like the other than Madison Square Garden anymore in the schedule. They moved it to the Nets Stadium, so they moved it to New Jersey, and then when the Nets left New Jersey, they moved it to Brooklyn.
So we can leave it in a little bit better shape than it is right now. Here's the commissioner with the selection.
With the 5th pick in the 2003 NBA draft, the Miami Heat select Dwayne Wade from Marquette University.
And that changed the landscape of the NBA for the next 15 years.
And watched Dwayne Wade
He would win them a title with Shaq.
He
would bring them LeBron. He'd win them 2 more titles.
When they beat Kentucky in the regional final in Minneapolis.
This guy's a flat player. I mean, you look at the top 3, and I think he's right at that.
And that's another interesting
really
final wall thing. His wife right there from high school.
I think he shoots fine from mid-range. He's a physical
his
two-guard.
wife,
He can get out and defend long arms, and he's not afraid to take it to the hole. He can draw contact and finish. I love this guy. I think he could be a multiple All-Star in a couple years.
A hug there from his college coach, Tom Crean, who they were so close. And there you see his wife. What a happy moment for them as well. Greg, Dwayne Wade in the NBA. Can he make a jump smoothly?
Oh, he won't have a problem making the jump. The problem is if you're Miami, where are you going to play him with Eddie Jones when you need his point guard? That's my only concern there. You know, that could be a big problem for them if they can't make a move.
Here is Stu Scott with Dwayne Wade's wife, Siobhan. Stu.
NBA took such a backseat back then. Look, they were really showing baseball games during the draft.
Now you got a guy who's got a wife and a kid. How has being a father helped Dwayne become a better basketball player?
See, like I said, they're pushing this narrative that
so much. He knows he has to set an example.
He's a father rather than talking about like
his
really talent and all his upside and what he brings to the team.
Well, he said
for, like,
before
the
that you were the
fans.
one who was nervous and had to be calmed down. We know how husbands do. We know sometimes they don't tell the whole truth. Mike, let's go back to you.
Oh, shoot, that's
high school sweethearts who got
that's
married.
some
Jay talked
foreshadowing.
about Dwayne Wade leaving after his junior year, but certainly ready to make the move.
Dwayne Wade is a slasher. He's a big guard in the mold of I think, a guy
and
like
Marquette was in Conference USA for 10
Sidney
years. I did not know
He's
that.
got a great first step, and he's
I
always
thought they were
around the
always
ball.
in the
He
Big
has
East.
long arms, a great
But I
wingspan,
am just
and he
a
really
product
can
of
fill
my
up a stat
environment.
sheet in a lot of different categories. He gets deflections, steals, he can block shots, he can lock you down defensively, and he's also got the ability to take the ball to the basket. The question marks are his shooting range. He is not a great shooter. He's been working on that shot, but he can get to the basket.
He wasn't a
and
good
that's the thing
shooter.
that impresses me most. As a big guard, he He really is productive, and he's an accomplished basketball player. And what I like best about him, Mike, is he's a hard worker. He's got a great work ethic, and he's a terrific teammate. I like this pick. I think Pat Riley is sending a message that even though he may not fit in, may not be able to be a point guard with Caron Butler and Eddie Jones, he's going to go to battle with those guys because Dwayne Wade is a high-character guy that will fit in with that team.
Since they started charting round by round, highest Marquette pick ever taken. Standing by on the Sprite set with Michelle Tafoya.
All right, Mike, thanks. Dwayne,
Wade,
all through the week,
ready for the
talk
moment.
was
Gonna give
you
a great
could go
interview
anywhere
here.
from 4 down toward the bottom part of the first round. What was your reaction when you were picked 5th by Miami?
It's a dream come true. I'm blessed. I know I am. I just know that hard work pays off, and I really learned that at Marquette.
Tom Crean, your coach at Marquette, has said
I wonder if any of
he
these
just
players got
constantly wants
drafted
to
by an
get
even
better, and
smaller
if he
market if they
continues
tried to
that work
force their way
ethic,
out with
he can have a long
sort of like
career.
Eli
What are you going to try to get
Chargers.
better at first?
I wonder if Wade get drafted by
I'm a kind of
Memphis
player
if he's trying
that
to
know I
force
need to
his way out.
fine-tune everything in my game. So I'm going to work on everything, the things I was good at and the things I need to get better at.
Between all your visits with Zaire and your wife, Savon, who are so emotional, great story.
Third
Dwayne,
time that they're bringing
congratulations.
that
Mike,
up.
let's send it back to you.
Michelle, right to the EA Sports video conference as we look at the
That
folks who
kid
are
is
headed
now
to South Beach, and we
about to
join
be a college
Pat
freshman.
Riley, the president and head coach of the Miami Heat. Coach, the folks in New York are glad to see you again, Coach.
Pat Riley
where
does not
does
care.
Dwayne fit into
He's
your
happy
team?
that they're going anyway, so he's reveling in the moment that they all have. That's a confidence.
Where
right
does
there.
Dwayne
about all of that stuff?
Where does Dwayne fit into your team?
He's a player. I tell you where he fits in.
He's going to backpack your franchise for the next 15 years. He's not just a player.
Player that we worked out and scouted, and not only do I see him as a multiple position player, but I see
They
him
almost
as a
traded
guy
that pick,
who
though, so
can
they actually really
defend.
liked what he
Not only can he
what he was
defend,
bringing.
finally have
So
a defensive player
kudos
who
to
can
them.
score,
If they
get to the
they traded that
basket,
pick, think
rebound,
about how much
deflect.
different the league is.
He's an absolutely complete player who's going to get better. So we are absolutely excited with this pick.
So the fact that you have an Eddie Jones with a big contract for 5 years in the shooting guard spot, you're not worried about that. You're going to make
He's
it
on a
work
rookie
with the players
contract.
that
Why
are
would he
there.
be worried?
Well, I think you'll probably see a lineup of Wade, Jones, and Butler a lot. And I think this is one of the players in the draft, a perimeter player, probably the only perimeter
5
player
pick who
of
could have
his
been a 1
size
pick
that
the
I
year.
think other than James that could probably play the point guard position. And how we plan on playing in the future is to play bigger
top
and
5
longer. Here's a guy
NBA
that's,
shooting guard in
he's
history.
6'4", and he's
So I
got
think he's playing point
a plus 6 inch wingspan. So he's real long, he's real athletic, and we're planning on using him in that spot.
Coach, you pick at 33.
I don't think
We'll
they
let
ever
you
used
get
him as
back in.
point
Thank
guard
you
even
very
when
much.
LeBron was there.
Pat Riley, the head coach and president of the Miami Heat. The Los Angeles Clippers are on the clock. Always intriguing to see what move the Clippers will make.
All right, so then it drops off. Chris Kamen's the next pick. So I'm going to stop it there. Did you guys notice how Pat Riley didn't call LeBron, he just called him James? So I thought that was really interesting because that James guy is going to win you 2 rings in 10 years. So put some respect on the name. All right, so that's going to conclude my watching with you of the 2003 NBA draft. I learned a lot from it, actually, seeing what the league was like back in 2003. One of the best drafts ever, and still has a huge impact on how the league is formed today. But aside from that, I thank you for watching. If you want more content like this, let me know. And apart from that, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.